Oh my god, look at the lack of props related to this episode.
You've changed. Oh,
Can they see her?
Yeah.
Alright, there she is. Hi everybody, welcome back to Doctor Review. I'm Chris.
Hello.
Yeah, this is a quickie, because it's a New Year's special. We've just watched it. And... yeah, it's alright, isn't it? It's alright.
I thought it was okay. For a Dalek story.
It's not that... No, but it's... Revolution of the Daleks is... And also, this was a fresh open. This was the first time opening this Blu-ray. It hadn't been opened yet.
Should it not have been, like, Regeneration of the Daleks?
Well, I guess it's Revolution of the Daleks because there is a revolution.
You want a revolution? I want a revelation.
All right.
Sorry.
You bloody Skylar sister. It's. Ugh. Do you know what I would rather this have been called?
What?
Revolution. Just that, because then it's resolution, revolution.
Yeah.
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 The fact that this one goes for Revolution of the Daleks makes Resolution's title kind of annoying. Because even though obviously the Daleks being in it was like completely a secret, Resolution of the Daleks would then make that story fit the scheme. But you know what I mean, right?
I cannot get past the fact that they just begin with R.
Yeah, it started with Resurrection, didn't it? Resurrection of the Daleks, Revelation of the Daleks, Remembrance of the Daleks,
Rejuvenation of the Daleks.
That's not a thing.
Resolve.
Rochambeau of the Daleks.
Racquetball of the Daleks.
Ratchet and Clank and the Daleks.
Oh, and the Daleks. Yeah. Ribbons on Daleks.
Ratchet, that trash can is talking to us. He's so cute.
He's so cute.
Yeah, like, do you know what? Can I just say it?
Just say it, baby.
This is such a, alright, story for me. And this is believe it or not, this is my third time watching it.
Oh, really?
I watched this go out on Telebobs on New Year's Day 2021. And then about 3 or 4 months later, I was doing stuff in the office and I was like, how did I feel about that one? I don't know. And I just pulled it up on iPlayer and watched it while I was like tidying or whatever. I remember coming out of it being like, yeah, no, I don't really care. And now that I've watched it for a third time, I'm like, I like it more than I remember. But that's not saying much. Do you know what I mean? Now, let us address the two inappropriately behaving in the workplace elephants in the room here.
Mm-hmm.
We have two cast members who... Oh, God, the dog's falling off the cushion.
What are you doing, silly Billy?
We have two cast members who, as of this recording in November 2023, the year of our Lord 60th anniversary, we have Jack Harkness, played by John Barrowman, and Jack Robertson, who's just credited as Robertson for this, played by Chris Noth, both of whom have been embroiled in pretty, like, oh, that's gross, like, scandals.
Yeah.
John Barrowman in relation to constant occasions of sexual
out his
inappropriateness that has never been abuse, but has certainly been
unwanted.
Recurringly inappropriate instances.
Yeah.
And his sort of reaction to it basically being, you can't cancel me. And it's like, John, just say, I'm really sorry, I'll stop getting my cock out at workplaces.
Yeah.
So it's just been like, ugh, dude, come on.
Jeez.
And that's something to keep in mind as we go into the next series, because there is a character who, based on what was rumoured, I don't think it's ever been confirmed, is absolutely filling in what Jack Harkness would have done in the story had he been
Really?
in it.
Oh my gosh, that makes me so sad, because I loved Jack.
I didn't give a shit about him in this.
No.
It's really weird. But we'll get to Jack in a second. I'm just getting John out of the way. And then Chris Noth, turns out he's been deeply sexually inappropriate with people who work for him and with him on film sets. As was revealed,
God, she's so
like
cute.
he came back in the Sex and the City sequel. What's it called? Do you know what it's called?
Sex and the City, the sequel.
No, the show's got...
I don't know. I couldn't get through the last series. I quite liked Sex and the City.
Let me find out what it was called.
Me.
The show was called, just for context, the show was called...
The Squeakquel.
No, And Just Like That.
I breathe.
Yeah? It's called And Just Like That.
I can't stop taking pictures of the dog.
And
oh my god, I got a head tilt. That's so cute. Sorry.
And he appeared as Mr. Big in the first episode of that reboot.
What is he doing?
Around the same time as this. And then the character gets killed off in that first episode. Yeah, spoiler alert for the Sex and the City sequel. Mr. Big gets killed off in episode 1.
Yeah, I know that.
It was a whole thing.
It was a heart attack on a Peloton.
He has a heart attack on a Peloton, and then Peloton actually had a go at the network for being like, "Are you implying that our exercise machines can kill people?" And the thing that was reached to make Peloton go, "Oh, thank God," was Chris Noth then did a marketing campaign with them.
Mm.
So it was almost like, "Oh, that's kind of funny." Like they've gone, "See, it didn't bloody kill him, people, obviously, because it'll have that same kind of audience that some soaps do, where they're thick as bricks."
Yeah, and they think that it's
people
real.
are the characters and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever. And then shortly afterwards, it was like, "Yeah, can you stop paying him lots of money? He touched me inappropriately on set. Yeah, can you stop being a thing? He abused me on set. Yeah, he bullied me on set." And it became oh God, this guy's a piece of crap.
Why
Fantastic.
are people so shit?
People are shit.
Do you know what I mean?
But
just don't be shit.
Watching it this time, I tried to completely disengage from both of those things hanging over the actors.
Luckily, you're supposed to hate the
Robertson
guy, so that was quite easy.
Yeah, and I tried to tune into remember being there in 2006, 2007, 2008, being a Torchwood viewer and enjoying Torchwood. Get back into that headspace. Let's go. Especially because this is written by Chris Chibnall, who was the showrunner of Torchwood.
Was he really?
He basically ran it. Russell created it. Russell created it. Chibnall was sort of the lead writer on it, and the original 2 series. He shepherded some of the show's best sort of stuff, like Owen's arc in series 2. Like the really kind of, oh God, this goes places stuff. But he also wrote Cyberwoman. So there you go.
That's unfortunate.
Yes. There was a dog pissing on our tent.
I'm sorry.
And here's the dog.
The dog looks so cute right now. She doesn't do this. Just sat up.
Just staring at you.
What doing?
What doing? So I tried to decouple from the real life people for this. And what I got was Robertson, I think, being used pretty well. It feels like a natural progression for a character we've met before. Like, he's sidelined his political ambition for now and has gone back into sort of devious...
he's a terrible person, and he's gotten quite far despite being bankrupt.
Which then gets the cherry on top at the end of this, where he's basically going to revive his political career, and there's the Earth has no idea that he nearly sold him out.
That is not where I thought that was going to go.
Because there was also no connection at that point publicly to him having made the drones. So he rode it, and you look at that and you go, yeah, now I understand why he is in the position he's in when we first meet him in Arachnids in the UK. Like, yeah, he is shrewd, he is devious at this stuff.
How did why?
The Trump allegory comes back a little because they make a joke about your derailed political career, and he sort of goes right, fine, whatever. But of course, this is after it was, going to be pretty apparent that Trump was gone. Yeah, because the election was 2020, wasn't it? So he was done. Trump was done. Joe Biden was sworn in January 2021.
Yeah, you're right.
So, and in this, he's wearing the red tie as well. So there's sort of the Trump allegories there, but without going, hey, you also exist in the same world as Trump.
Yeah.
So it works better, really.
Yeah. But I don't like how it ended because
for him.
Why did the Doctor let that happen? Cause
she didn't. There's nothing she could have done. He took advantage of the situation because
Oh goodness me.
Because evil people be like that. Look at every Tory politician. Oh, I said
sick burn, but
Doctor Who's not political. I love that this is already a meme for us, but it won't be for them until the videos where you first start saying it come out in 4 months. But yeah, it's I don't mind that because it is gross, but it happens. And I think had Chris Noth not turned out to be an absolute scumbag, allegedly, we would have seen him at least one more time.
Well, I'm glad we don't, because he could have very easily she could have TARDISed him to a prison or something and said, like, here's all the proof that he's the one that...
yeah, but then the prison would go, hang on, did that lady just appear out of nowhere and drop off one of the richest men on earth? It wouldn't have got them anywhere. It wouldn't have got them anywhere.
You're silly.
You also have...
I just didn't like it.
Harriet Walter as Jo Patterson. I love the setup of this. The idea that, like, we got wind of this, like, thing that apparently took out a military base. We don't know what it is, but, like, the government that are in the know are trying to cover it up and want us to dispose of it. How about we, like, take it along the way, make it disappear, and then repurpose it for business use? And the idea of, like, the dude being... Chris Chibnall cannot resist going, hi, I'm a human being, and these are the loves of my life, and this is my ambition. Can't wait to go to work today, and then killing them off. Like, say goodnight to your granddad, and yeah, my boyfriend always says that, and all these little things. And then this one,
we've got one more day till retirement.
Yeah, exactly, it's the one more day till retirement clause of the Chibnall era. And darn it, they carried one more day till retirement. We have, in this, we have the dude who's like, his mum's unwell, but they make him do, and he's the one taking it from one, like, black site to another, and he gets killed by T. Which I don't hate. I don't hate that because it felt very much like this is a covert thing that's being conducted by someone trying to get their hands on the technology. I believe this, like Spyfall earlier this series set up the notion of these things existing in Doctor Who as well. But how many T-bars and caravans do you think they had set up with agents?
Loads.
Just so they could catch him out.
Loads.
Actually, that could have been the smoking gun. Robertson's like, I get away scot-free, and along the way they uncover the evidence that he basically signed off on the murder of some... Well, it wasn't him, was it? It was the Prime Minister. Yeah. She was part of it as well, but, like, that could be uncovered.
Oh my god! Oh my goodness.
Like, maybe we're seeing the Prime Minister killed on live TV, someone comes forward and confesses their involvement in it because they're panicking, but they're going to get killed as well.
I also...
You could have had that kind of thing of literally like a smoking Dalek gun. Go on, you were saying?
So many people died. Many people died,
and there's just no... This is huge.
There's just no, like, reference to it at all. Like...
no, I know what you mean. Yeah, we don't see sort of like Earth dealing with it the day after.
But the Prime Minister died, and it's like, okay, that's the end of that.
It's also weird that when that happens, we don't hear like screams and see people running through and stuff.
No.
I know it's because it's from the POV of the camera, but also keep in mind the photography of this, the pickups and the latter stuff would have been done during the early part of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So and you can see that in some shots. Like Jack doesn't get a proper exit. And the Doctor's barely reacting. She only reacts in a voice line to the voice message he's leaving, and that's off camera. So I guarantee there was a scene that they didn't shoot, and they went, "Oh bollocks, we just have to write around it." Let's do something we've been doing recently. Let's do pros. Let's list them. Jack's scene with Yaz, where he talks about like, yes, this hurts because the good bits are so good, but how many other people get to do this?
Yeah.
Like, we are the lucky ones. It's worth the pain. And this is, it's not even necessarily even subtext at this point.
How many of these do you have?
It's meta text from the fan base and the way that Mandip Gill plays it. This is sort of the proper starting of Yasmin loves the Doctor. It's not clear, but think about how much she's clinging on. And the idea of her being like, you have no idea what it was like to think you were never going to be here again, to never going to come back.
See, that's something I've got no idea about because
You have no idea of Thasmin.
No, what?
That is the ship name that the fandom gave to the idea of the 13th Doctor and Yasmin being a couple. Thasmin. 13, Yasmin, Thasmin. Yeah. It was mostly like, just a harmless shipping. It wasn't aggressive. It was just kind of, but wouldn't it be sweet? Those two have got... And it was mostly built off of Jodie and Mandip's chemistry and, like, the press stuff and everything. It's like, these two are adorable. And you can kind of see those little moments in Series 12, especially where those two have a really nice kind of just little moments.
Yeah.
And, of course, like, the, ravenously sapphic portion of the internet leapt on board and were like, this has to be a thing. And eventually in press around Flux, they kind of went, we hear you. And it is going to be discussed in the show. And it's like, oh! It's kind of rushed because it only really pays any dividends in the final 3 specials.
Do they kiss?
They do not. It is not. It's you will find out how it goes. But in this one, I think thematically, now revisiting it, this is the point where I can believe, okay, here's where it kind of starts, because Yaz really is hurting from what she feels she has lost. And it's not just the lifestyle, it's her.
Yeah, well, she mentioned it. I can't remember who she was talking to, but the person that she likes is amazing. Who was she talking to about it in one of the previous stories?
Oh, did someone say something like, I know what you mean. It's one of the recent ones. Someone says, like, oh, like the...
Oh, she's talking to Brenner. Is it?
No, it's not. It's not Brenner. It's Claire in Haunting of Villa Diodati.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
She sort of says, like, you have someone like that. She's talking about, like, having someone in my life who's, like, that important and stuff, and you must love them very much and everything. And she doesn't quite respond, because then she gets distracted by the ghost. But that's kind of what they're leaning into.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily romance, but again, subtext, like, it's kind of there. But yeah, and Chris Chibnall did say, and so did Jodie and Mandip in press stuff, that it was never the plan. But then they kind of saw people's reaction to it and went, maybe.
Why not?
Like, why not? Let's explore this. And they do eventually, but...
The Doctor's been in love before.
You're assuming something about this based on your reactions. You're assuming it's a reciprocated feeling.
No! Don't tell me anymore.
You'll find out.
I'm already sad.
Oh my god, I love how you're like, I've never heard of this. And now you're like, I totally should.
I am invested in this. This is my whole personality.
Other pros. I think some of the dialogue's a bit stilted, but the conversation between the Doctor and Ryan in their quiet chat is very well performed by Jodie and Tosin.
They've never had that before, really.
Not properly, no, and it kind of...
Felt a bit like a kid talking to their parent about something.
But specifically the Doctor being the kid. It sort of starts with her as the parent coming for a chat, and ends with Ryan as the parent reassuring his kid. Did you not feel that?
I thought it was the other way around.
No, that's what I'm saying. It starts as one, it turns to the other by the end of the conversation.
Yeah, I guess, you're right, yeah. Oh.
Graham doesn't really get a lot to do in this, but that doesn't mean Bradley Walsh isn't delightful, because he's always delightful to watch. And I think, and this is very much down, I think, to obviously real life circumstances. It's down to like, oh, I kind of want to do something else now. All right, we're going to move on. But I think the way that Ryan's exit and subsequently then Graham's happens feels right in this. The idea of, I've had 10 months to be back home and I've kind of reassessed what's important to me. I almost wished he'd referenced Tibbo. I almost wish he'd mentioned... He says, my friends need me, but I almost wish he just mentioned him. Because it'd be that kind of thing of, yes, he left when he thought he had nothing left to stick around for in Sheffield. And now he's learnt he does. And he can take everything he's learnt from being part of the fam, he can take that with him and go back home. And it just sort of feels right when it happens. And Graham sticking around feels right. Because he's like, yeah, we are finally really like granddad and grandson. And I don't want to miss any moment I could have with him.
Don't want to miss a thing.
Do you know what I mean? It feels right. It feels right. Bradley Walsh, apparently, there was discussion about, like, would you stick around? And he was like, I'll have to think about it. But then he thought about it and went, I think this is the right way for Graham to leave as well.
Well, I'm mad.
Do you want a very, very minor spoiler? Very minor?
Does he die?
No, do you want a very minor spoiler?
Oh,
this isn't the last you see of Graham. Oh, you will see Graham one more time.
Better.
Leo.
Okay.
Leo Ragazzi, played by Nathan Stewart Jarrett, is great. He's not in it much, but he's brilliantly played, and doubly so once he is possessed. he has that moment where it's having a proper little chat, and then it commands him to stand, and he kind of switches back to himself for a split second. He's like, oh God. The bit where he says to his wife, love you, bye, and then the Dalek takes control and mocks it.
Yeah. Ugh.
Pros again, Nick Briggs as the reconnaissance Dalek, or the backup reconnaissance Dalek. I love this villain.
Oh.
I really like this villain. He's so creepy. His death feels underwhelming as a result, because he's been such... Like, his death in the first one feels like, yes, he's the monster of the week for this one-off special, blow him up. Cool. It's the fact that this time it's just, I'm the last one! The other Daleks go, screw you! Just kill him. It's like, oh, okay.
No, I think it's quite good, actually, because it's like, oh, this is a big, scary Dalek. We've had a story with this one. He's a scary one. And the other Daleks are like, yeah, you're not good enough for us.
Yeah, but also his whole thing was he's a survivor. Like, and so the fact that his final gambit was just, hey, look, I'm still a Dalek, guys. It's me. Let me in the club. I'll even let you genetically change me. Come on, let's go. It feels like he should have got on their ship and tried to, like, take it over or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, hack into the system and...
Well, he showed a kind of human side, didn't he? Because he was scared for his life, really, in a way where he was like self-preservation.
Yeah, but I hated that because he was never like that prior to that scene. He was nasty and sadistic, and very much knew what he wanted.
But I think seeing a weaker side of a really nasty.
No, I get you, but like, what did those?
Like,
no, I get you, but what did those Daleks do then? They got tricked into going into a box and being squished.
Yeah, but it
doesn't really set it up as, oh God. Do you know what I mean?
Scaries.
Yeah, what I'm saying is the last episode showed that Chibnall and the showrunners had a great spin on the Daleks for this one-off one for a story. And now that it's come back, it starts out quite morbid and creepy with like the clone farm and everything. And then it just suddenly becomes, oh, no, bye then. It's like, oh, okay, that's... Huh. And this is part 2 of what's known as the Dalek trilogy, because there's one more Dalek story, but it has nothing to do with these two.
What?
So the Daleks will show up in Flux. They don't have a story, but they'll show up. Okay. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then some Daleks react to what happens to them in Eve of the Daleks, the next and final New Year's special.
Okay.
But they're kind of just the villain of the week in a story where the premise is what's interesting. Like, they're just there.
Okay.
The only connection is they've got those weird little nubbins instead of the plungers, that's it.
Just so they can keep that license, you know what I mean?
Well, that's not true, apparently. But anyway. Positives, physical Dalek props look great. I like the exercise time in the yard in the prison, which is absolutely, totally, 100%, let's face it. Oh, wow. I lost you.
I don't understand what you want.
The prison is 100% absolutely, regardless of whether they say it isn't, it's totally... Shut up!
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant the actual exercise room itself. I was going to say...
Let down by not Chris. It's your favourite story and everything, you let me write down. Sharda is absolutely up there for you, though. You loved it.
I very much enjoyed it, yeah.
Both versions.
When he bumps into a lamppost and says... Oh, God, ow.
Yes, that's what he says. He bumps into a lamppost and says, oh, God, ow.
What does he say? Does he say,
oh, terribly sorry.
I beg your pardon, doesn't he?
I beg your pardon.
Luna, no.
I like the exercise yard. It's just these little sort of electrical fence wide off squares, and everyone's allowed out to just sort of move about a bit once a day. Allowed for some fun cameos, although Bonnie and Clyde. Why is there a rabid Ood and a Sycorax just chilling out together in the same cell?
Oh no, I don't think it was. I think their things slightly overlapped because they weren't equally.
I don't know. She called them Bonnie and Clyde. That implies they were in prison together. Oh, fair enough.
Because they were next to each other. Because I did think that, but then I think there was a barrier between them.
Fun Pating cameo.
Yeah. Oh, it is cute.
It is now, isn't it? Weeping Angel gag was nice.
Yeah.
If that had been their only appearance in her era, that would have been okay. That's kind of fun.
Is that?
Nope, they get a story next series.
I was going to say, is that a spoiler?
And it's one of the best ones.
Stop spoiling things!
You've seen it. You've seen that episode. We talked about it.
I don't remember.
Oh, God. Stars Mr. Badger.
Oh yeah.
There's, is it
What?
Is it Eustace Jericho or just I don't know.
Well,
Erasmus Jericho? I can't remember now. But anyway, yeah, what was I saying?
Do you like the prison yard?
That was it, yeah. And you get a cameo from Silent as well. I was like, I forgot you were here. Fun. An unfortunate positive shout out to a certain transphobic author. But at the time, Chris Chibnall was sort of asked, like, oh, that's weird. And he went, yeah. He said, when I wrote this and when it was shot in, like, earlier in 2020, she hadn't shat the bed yet as much. There'd just been sort of weird vibes. Yeah, we probably wouldn't have done that one.
Christopher said how funny it would be if it was like the first lines of the Twilight books.
Yeah, or a Mr. Men story.
Just
something
really
where you go like, wait, that's one of the classics.
That just the thought of Twilight being a classic is just hilarious.
Or the fact that the 13th Doctor reads Twilight to herself to like calm down.
Yeah.
She's a lonely woman in prison. You never know. Like maybe she uses it to get past the time.
The Lion Meets the Lamb, or whatever it's called.
Oh God!
I have read them, but I don't remember it.
I'm implying that the Doctor masturbates to Twilight. Is what I'm implying.
What?
Which Doctor is reading Twilight like an excited, horny schoolchild?
Who is reading Twilight like that?
I mean, wasn't that what you were reading it for?
No.
To get horny?
No, absolutely not. Ew.
What were you reading it for? Because it was kind of pointless
I like
otherwise.
Vampires.
So you read Twilight?
Well, it was.
Pick up a bloody Anne Rice book.
Look,
there's a bloke called Bram Stoker who's got a pretty decent one. I should introduce you to it. Yeah.
Oh, how many versions of Dracula do we own?
How many have you read?
One, because that is the only one I can bear to break the spine of. Luna, please no. Please no.
Good lord, the cat and dog are fighting.
Oh my god, this is just chaos.
Yeah, cons. I just think it's kind of boring overall. Like once it gets past the intrigue of the clone farm and it just becomes there are Daleks everywhere. I'm like, okay. And I think part of that is because we don't see the extent of the destruction. We see a lot of deaths. We were quite like taken aback by that.
Oh, yeah. Jeez.
But I think part of it as well is I don't love the design.
I thought it was quite cool actually.
Like it makes sense because it's been duplicated from the design of the wreckage they found.
The skinny one, yeah.
But like, there's never been a toy of it. Put it that way.
It looks very Nazi. I thought it looked very Nazi.
It's actually all got little tashes.
No. Yeah.
I hate the little egg cups. The little because weirdly they have it. I get it because the reconnaissance one just built out of scrap and that's just what the arm looked like. Yeah.
Oh, what?
Little egg cups. Not to be confused with our favourite little red laser beams. But then we cut to the Daleks, like the SS squad of the Daleks, that are hiding in the vortex, and they've got them as well. For some reason, spoiler alert: the next 2 times we see Daleks, they also just have these little nubbins.
little what?
Little egg cups. They have them too, right? What's happened to the plungers? There's just no plungers in the entire Chibnall era. There's not a single Dalek with a plunger.
Modern day, when's the last time you used a plunger? You've got them things that just push everything.
Okay, I tell a lie. I think some of them have plungers in the last story. But anyway.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, you don't, do you? You're a little muffin.
What's that?
I don't know. It made me laugh though. It's fine. There's stuff I like about it, but equally I don't really. Where are the 2 of the humans from the future?
Well, yeah, I thought that because I thought they were going to live in that TARDIS because it looked like a house.
Yeah, but like it's not a house necessarily, so they're not going to stay in it.
Well, that makes sense, but
but like not even one line to be like, oh, what happened to blah blah blah? Don't worry, like we got them set up somewhere, like la la la, just something. But now,
yeah, they need to be registered. They need to get passports. They need.
What purpose does Jack serve in this story? Other than that conversation with Yaz, which is genuinely like one of the ones where I go, that's great. But apart from that conversation, what purpose does he serve?
He has the time, the wrist thing, the transportation.
Vortex manipulator.
That's the one. I was going to say that, but I didn't.
Cheap and nasty time travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets the Doctor out of prison and
gets Graham and Ryan on the Dalek ship.
Right,
and that's it.
Like, it doesn't feel like a payoff. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like a payoff to, they teased him in the series, what could he be up to? Or this is it.
Well, I think that's because they made a choice not to carry it on. There would have probably been more stories.
Yeah, but I mean in this story, they set up the smoking gun as well to new viewers of, here's a person who the Doctor once knew, who due to a thing that happened with shout for Rose, he can die, but he comes back to life.
Yeah.
And then they don't use that.
Yeah, that's right.
They don't use it. In a Dalek story, they don't use it, right?
It could have been like a book.
Although, he randomly goes, and I'm immortal, and they teleport away. It's like, why are you saying that? What a weird thing to say. What a weird thing to randomly say to the Daleks.
It's not even the same Daleks that he was killed by, so even the Daleks would have been like, what?
It feels like, do you know what it feels like? There's a better ending of this story that does not involve bringing the other Daleks in, and involves a more cleverly written kind of standoff between the recon Dalek sort of taking its place as the leader of the squad and the Doctor and her team, that properly utilises like Jack's skill set. Do you know what I mean? It feels like there's a different ending to this that was just never considered. Because I'm all for this story up until the Daleks go into their drones, and then I'm like, right, now what? So for that last 15 minutes, I'm just like, eh. That being said, the farewell scene is lovely. Not Jack's, because there's no farewell scene.
No.
But it's embarrassing. Shout out to Gwen. Woo woo. Woo 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 woo. But I love the Doctor's like, yeah, give Gwen my love. It's like, you never really met her, though, have you?
What?
Doctor never met Gwen?
Yeah, they did.
When? When did the Doctor meet Gwen?
In one of the...
They saw each other over a camera briefly.
Torchwood.
Like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, but he's spoken to her.
Yeah, that's it.
So?
Could have made it really awkward. Give my love to Gwen and Yanto. How's he doing? But it also, at no point do we get an answer as to what Jack's been up to. Because the last time we saw... Right, end of Children of Earth, he goes off into space. Because he can't face what he's done. Yeah?
Right.
We then see him in the End of Time, drinking in that bar alone. And the Doctor sets him up with Alonso. And then he's in Children of Earth. He comes back to Earth. Sorry, Children of Earth. Miracle Day. He comes back to Earth. That series ends on the cliffhanger that, like, Mekhi Phifer's character is immortal. And that's the last we saw of him. Yeah?
Who's that?
Jack. That was the Mekhi Phifer's a character in that series. Anyway, basically, by the end of it, in Miracle Day, the premise is, at the very beginning, a serial killer who's played by Bill Pullman. I don't know if you did. Might have watched it at the time. It was 2011 on TV.
Did we watch it together?
No, we were living apart.
No,
so, that makes it sound like we were living apart.
Yeah, it does. Oh my god, I didn't like that.
No, she lived up here, I lived down south. Exactly. And a serial killer played by Bill Pullman, well, a really nasty piece of work played by the wonderful Bill Pullman, is being sent to the chair for his crimes. And he gets electrocuted and then wakes up.
Oh,
and then
I think I've seen it.
And suddenly around the world, everybody...
Oh no, I have seen that.
You might have watched it.
Didn't we watch it together?
No, we didn't watch it together. It was on, while we were living apart. We might have followed it together, but have you watched it? Yeah, there might have been that, but...
How many parts were there?
10. Because Russell conceived it as 5, and the Stars Network were the people who made it with him.
Jeez.
It was the BBC and the Stars Network, who've gone on to do better stuff, but, they made some weird decisions back then. And Russell wasn't available to run the whole thing, and they had to pad it out. And they got some good writers on it, like Marty Noxon, but it's when you watch it, you're like, yeah, this is 5 episodes too long. It's like, because it was meant to be 5 episodes like Children of Earth. It's meant to just be like one and done.
That's probably why.
But everyone on Earth basically can't die. And then at the end, it's all resolved. Jack is, once again, he is immortal, and Mekhi Phifer's character dies at the end, and then he revitalises. And you're like, oh, so he can still do it. Wonder what'll happen next time. There was no next time. Luna.
Luna, no, please.
Cat's trying to climb the clothing rack. There was no next time.
Oh, Luna. She needs to go outside. Get down. Welcome to the chaos of our household.
Right. So, we don't know... Why is Jack in space in the future? Why does he know about the cyber wars? Do you know what I mean? We never get any... Just little nod to explain what's happened to him since.
Yeah, and how he's...
Yeah, I'm not saying give us a big explanation, but just like, where have you been? Oh, God. All sorts.
Did it explain why he knew about the Cyberman?
Nope.
Now that is confusing.
Yeah. Ultimately, I just come out of this going, yeah, right. I don't think I'd ever... Resolution, I would put on just because I want to watch a good Doctor Who story. This one, I don't think I'd watch it, except when I'm marathoning.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why it's kind of annoying that it, like Twice Upon a Time, it's a solo release. It's not in a box set.
Yeah, that's such a strange...
Day of the Doctor, Time of the Doctor, Twice Upon a Time, and Resolution of the Daleks are currently just floaters.
That's so...
They're not in any box sets. Like it looked like Husband's a River Song and Return of Doctor Mysterio were going to be like that, but they confirmed around the time of Return of Doctor Mysterio, hey, don't worry, they're also both going to be in the next season box set. And it was like, right, thank God, I shall hold off on buying them and I'll just get the next season box set.
Weird.
But yeah.
Weird.
Have you got any notes?
I have.
Oh, you got notes, my lover?
I've got notes. So many people died.
So many deaths.
So many.
Many deaths.
I don't think there's been... If you calculate...
This is Revelation of the Daleks. This is Resurrection of the Daleks level deaths. This is it stopped being Fan Doctor level deaths. Yeah.
I think if you were to count...
Well, they happen really quickly, so you don't really get any repercussion from it.
But you see, like, the guy dead with his eyes open at the beginning, in the van.
Yeah, that's
it's
grim.
like, that was quite traumatising for a child.
And Leo's death's quite grim as well.
Yeah.
The Dalek says, so you don't have to kill him. He's right. You're right. I don't have to.
Yeah.
And he just kills him and then teleports away.
Imagine if you didn't hate the Daleks. Or were scared of the Daleks. Strange. I'd be worried about that person. The prisoners, very funny. I just thought the fact that...
Hello, camera 38.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that there were no, like, people.
Yeah, because it didn't need to be. There's just all those lights. That's a cool little bit of a design. It's just those little lights just direct you where to go. Or tell you to right, lie down and sleep now. Like, just little things like that.
Like even the what's the little chubby thing called that eats everything?
The pating.
Even a pating can't eat its way out of it. How did they get it in there?
Good question.
Anyway.
They didn't. It's a cameo because they have it in the computer. They can animate it whenever they want.
Yeah. Yaz pushing the Doctor made me sad.
But you get it, though,
yeah,
right?
But it's like, she was in prison, she couldn't do anything.
Yeah, because she was in prison for 19 years as well. Yeah. It's been a while for her. She's a Time Lord. It's bloody drop in the ocean, isn't it? Yeah. But still.
Boring, probably.
Well, Jack said it took him like 3 years to get to her or whatever.
I'm pretty sure he said 19.
No, not 19 for him. It took him... Oh! Well, let me double check.
Because she had all those tallies. Those were years, weren't they?
Let's see. No, she's been there for a number of decades. Yeah, it took him 19 years. Yeah. She's been there for a number of decades.
Because he doesn't age either, so...
Well, he ages very slowly. Because
he age into a giant prune.
The big prune in a jar!
Big prune with a face. Silver Fox Graham, I thought that was really funny. When he says, hi, Silver Fox.
Bradley Walsh's reaction.
He just goes...
Yeah. It's adorable.
So cute.
Because he doesn't know how to take the compliment. He also is not used to being flirted with by a bloke. Yeah. And he's just kind of a bit like... like, it's not played for like, ew, gay, ew. It's not played for that. No. It's just him being like, what? Like, he doesn't really know how to respond.
Doesn't really know him either, so... something that I thought was annoying, which is a bit of a nitpick, but there were two of the same shots of the reveal of the clone farm.
Facility. Yeah.
They were exactly the same, but they were both done in like a really dramatic way, as if like, oh, look at this! And it's like... You literally just showed us that.
Before we forget, actually, there's an overly dramatic joke at the beginning that on this rewatch was like, why have they done that? But I've remembered why. So this was January 1st, 2021.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, it does a flashback to remember, like, resolution, sort of remind you of that, to January 1st, 2019. And it said many years ago, brackets 2019, far, far away in Cheltenham. And it's on its own, watching it now, it's like, that's a really dumb caption. Like, what's going on there? Many years ago, 2019. It's like, what? Huh? But it's because in January 1st, 2021, we all felt like the world had gone topsy-freaking-turvy. It was a joke to, like, God, do you remember the before times?
The before
times. I'm trying to remember. Let me know in the comments if on broadcast this one you read that and went, yeah, I feel you. I feel you, caption guy. Because on rewatch now, it's like, that feels weird. But it's just hit me why they did it.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. Any more?
Yeah.
Any more for animal?
There was an alien reference. I thought that was cool.
Or the dribble from the Dalek on
and it was all green. And I was like, nice. I like it. Graham holding the bombs when Jack pats him on the shoulder. And just like, so cute.
Bradley Walsh never steals focus.
So many of these are about.
He never steals focus, but his background acting is incredible.
Amazing.
He's always doing something.
He's so charming and so cute. I just want to put him in my pocket. Ryan telling Graham,
"Inside men down to Daleks, we are unstoppable." Whatever it says. Stop being weird.
It's when Ryan tells Graham to stop talking weird.
Yeah.
It's so cute. Oh. I like the look of the Dalek ship, the greens and the rusty colour. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I like that.
It made me think a little bit of Doctor Strange. I don't know why. Because it
looked like the Eye of Agamotto.
Yeah, it did. I just thought it looked nice. Very nice.
Just before they're about to blow the bombs, they look over and Benedict Cumberbatch is in one of the corridors and he's just going like that with his finger. Like, oh shit.
And then Sling rings his ass out of there.
Yeah, Sling rings his ass.
That was really hard to say. I nearly said something else. Anyway, Gwen! Yay, Gwen! Oh my god, this is... No, I'll tell you in a minute. It's got two names. My notes have got two names that are very significant to me.
Okay.
Weird. Very weird.
Yeah, that makes no sense. When you say I'll tell you later, you don't mean them, do you?
No.
Never say that on a recording.
Oh, sorry.
Because no matter what, everyone watching it will go, they never explained it. It's
great. Cliffhangers.
You don't even listen to Smurge Pod and they go, I've got a story about that. I'll tell you later. I'll tell you off air. And you as the listener go, God damn it! No, I want to hear that.
Sorry. Anyway, I hate Ryan because he's the reason Graham left.
Okay, but, is that your last note?
Yes.
Got to ask, now that Ryan Sinclair and Graham O'Brien have left the show, I know how you feel about Graham. How do you feel about Ryan now you've seen all his stories?
Oh, he's still so annoying.
Really?
In this story, he did it a lot of...
Yeah, in this one he was on a lot of lower register, just kind of scenes like this. And it's like, okay.
Stop!
But I think revisiting his run, because I remember being like, I don't really care for Ryan. Again, when Tosin is just allowed the smaller little lighter moments.
Yeah, definitely. But
he's very, very charming in those moments.
Yeah, he is, but...
And I kind of wish we'd got more of them. But as a result, I come out of this going, do you know what? I don't dislike Ryan as much as I used to. I see the appeal now. He's still not a fan. He'll never be like... He'll never be like, S, A, B, C tier for me. But I still like him.
I don't know. There are definitely the moments where he's charming, like in Rosa, and then the a couple of the episodes.
1 minute, Martin Luther King. Yes, Rosa Parks. Whoa.
A couple that we watched before. The one with
Orphan 55 is awful, but him swatting at imaginary bats is one of the funniest things.
Yeah. He is definitely better than I remembered.
Yeah.
There are definitely moments where I was like, oh no, he's actually really good.
Yeah.
But it's just his inflections. They're just exactly the same.
Would you...
And it's like, that just really annoys me.
I know it sounds daft. Would you be interested in seeing him in other stuff? Like, if you learned he was in something, be like, okay, let's see what he brings to this.
No.
See, I would.
Just because...
Specifically if he's not having to focus so much on changing his accent.
I just, when things annoy me, they really annoy me.
Yeah, I get you.
So I just...
Graham?
I love Graham. I'm sad. I'm very sad because it feels like he didn't want to go. He didn't want to go.
It feels like he definitely had more adventures in him.
I told him.
But he feels like this is the time.
No, I don't think... Oh, he thinks that?
Yeah, like...
No, I don't think he does.
He realises that, like, he could miss seeing Ryan, like, you know, grow into his life proper and seeing what he's going to do next.
But that's because Ryan isn't with him.
Yeah, but, like, Ryan
was with him...
Ryan would never do that if he stayed on the TARDIS, so...
But he was saying how much more there's still to see. But he doesn't want to miss out being with Ryan. And it's like...
But keep in mind...
If Ryan was with you, you could all travel together.
But keep in mind, he was also... Yeah, but then if they do that, then you've got to watch more Ryan.
That's true. But you could drop Graham off, you know, close to where they'd...
I really like the fact their last scene implies that they're not done. That she's given them psychic paper and they can't help it. They're like...
It's like a Sarah Jane thing, you know?
Yeah, it's like, oh, come on, like, we're going to help out where we can.
I was thinking, how far could one of those get you, psychic paper?
Depends, doesn't it?
Because, I mean, you'd still need to pay for airline tickets.
Just remembering the Christmas Carol. It's like, as you see, it says here, I'm a mature and responsible adult. It's just a little squiggly lines. Oh, finally, I lie too big. It's like, so good. I love that we see Sharon D. Clarke one last time. I hate how they do it.
Oh my god, I forgot to write that.
The blast of angelic light.
Jesus.
Because like they catch their reactions as though they're like, what am I seeing? But then when it's the back end of it, it plays what I think they were intending, which is them just kind of having just a little moment and then be like, yeah, sorry, it was the sun. Right, come on. I think all you needed... What would have been better is just sort of get her in. It's like they just kind of see her on the hill for just a second.
Was it if like...
And then that maiden little girl from Darty, they're like, ah!
We don't have closure for that. Oh my god. What would have been better?
They run to town like, somebody help! And they see Banksy finishing off a piece, turning around. It's like, oh, you've ruined it now. It's like, oh, closure on that as well.
What I think. Oh god.
Just wrapping up all of the non-storylines.
Oh, he's got fun with it. What would have been better, I think, is if she had been stood behind them, out of focus, like she had been in previous episodes, and them just, like, taking a moment, as if, like, they're thinking of her and they know she's with them.
Yeah. Or again, just, like, looking on the hill and she's just there in the distance. And it's just a momentary thing. They both kind of go, you're right, yeah, sorry.
Or if it was grey... the sky, and then it was sunny when they, like, you know, were, like, having that moment.
Because we, the audience, are already looking at that scene and we're all thinking of Grace, because the last time we were here... the last time we were here was just Ryan on his own trying it, wasn't it? But the last time we were here, the original time we were here, it was those three, so...
Yeah. But that, I mean, that was... why?
I almost expect to come back to Peter Capaldi going, Clara, they restored my memory. And you're on a green screen on the set of ITV's Victoria. Clara. Tell me, Clara, is this good green screen?
Oh my god. Are you finished? Silly man. Don't. Let me get this point out. That seems so unbelievably cheesy, I find it difficult that it got through.
Yeah, I get you.
I find it really hard to believe that it got through. Just shocking. It's shocking. It's like it's one... the next level of cheesiness would be Sky Ghosts.
Yeah, Sky Ghosts are a thing we've discussed on my podcast, Big Damn Cast, many moons ago, about how Disney Plus have so many 80s and 90s movies on their service where the profile picture, like the display picture, is people's floating heads in the sky.
Yeah.
And as Matt and myself sort of dubbed it, Sky Ghosts. Sky Ghosts. I would have rather Grace been a Sky Ghost, like properly just looking down on him like, you go, Ryan Sinclair.
I like frogs.
I like frogs. Just a frog in the cloud.
Oh my god, or a frog jumps on the bike. And
that that legitimately, or they just see a frog.
I mean, I don't know why they would.
No, but like they just see a frog.
And the frog starts cycling the bike, and he's like, "No, give me my bike back!"
Yeah, it's me, the solid track. Oh bollocks! Now the universe is going to collapse in on itself.
Oh no, the cake!
I've killed them all. Oh no, the cake.
If you don't get that, listen to a previous.
Oh god, the cake.
The previous one, the one before that.
The cake is a lie, and everything's made of meringue.
Now we're getting silly.
Revolution of the Daleks. It's alright. It's fine.
We had fun watching.
What's coming next? Well, for us, physically in the real world, we're about to watch the 2023 Children in Need minisode, which we will record a video about probably next week as part of our thing.
Yeah.
But
sorry.
In terms of you lot, let us know down below what do you think of Revolution of the Daleks. And we'll see you next time for the first half of season 13. Oh, wait, sorry, let me just check my notes. No, it's not called that. We'll see you next week for part 1 of Doctor Who Flux the Toilet. Goodbye!
God, the frog!